We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin.
And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at these. And what we have here from the Puckerbutt Pepper Company, we have the Honey Half Note and the Honey Bonnet hot sauces. Now, the reason that these two are together in this video is because one is based on the other, and that is this one. That is a half, ideally a half version of this, so half the heat, but supposedly all the flavor is kind of the idea here. This one, there's a donation of, so it's 100% of the first batch. In fact, let's just throw that on here. So this musicwill.org, if you want to check them out, they support young persons interested in music. So I definitely back that completely. And of course here we have, so we use the Scotch bonnets here. We have identical ingredient lists here. So we have peppers. Can I fit them both in? Okay, yeah, I can. Peppers, vinegar, honey, and cinnamon. But you can see these are radically different in color. And consistency, they're very similar. This one might be a little bit thicker. So you can see there's a lot of honey bits in both of them. Let's get them into the spoons so we can take a better look at them. You can see they do, this one does pour very thick though. So you can see this one is a very vibrant red color, almost tending towards red orange. Just a touch, just a little touch right there. Very, very good looking sauce. I like the appearance of this one is fantastic, unquestionably. So that is the Honey Half Note. I don't know why I'm putting the cap on these. We still got some eating to do. We still got some eating to do with these sauces. All right. So this one you can see is a lot darker in tone. We've got much more of a, I guess, a brown orange sort of look to this one. Let's have them side by side here. They both look really good, I think, but these are radically different. For the one on the left, which this one right here being a half version of this, the coloration is very distinctly different. I mean, I mentioned in the written review, which is available in the description down below, that these are almost two different sauces the way that they read. And you can, I mean, just looking at here, you can see this one is somewhat looser. Not a lot, but a little bit. And appearance-wise, they don't look like the same sauce. So let's see. Let's start with the original. Actually, we're going to start with the Honey Bonnet. Oh man, definitely. I think there's a sour. It's liquor. I think there's a pepper mash at play here. It's a feeling I'm getting, and then maybe this one's just slightly more diluted. What's interesting though is that there's no salt in here, and I kind of feel like it's missing a touch. This one, get a lot of the taste of the peppers, and it is fairly vinegar forward as well. Little grace note of cinnamon there. I'm not really getting any honey out of it. That's the one thing I kind of wish with these sauces. I wish the honey was a lot more prominent. But this one definitely is not getting a ton of heat, but as I eat it Scotch Bonnet's like habanero, it builds. This one is actually, this is a very good tasting sauce. I enjoy this quite a bit. I would have liked, I think, those modifications just a little bit, but Smoking Ed didn't ask me when he was putting it together. As it is, it's pretty solid. I just wish a little bit more honey and just a little bit of salt, I think, would have gone a long way there. All right, so this is the honey half note. And calling it a lighter version of this with half the heat. Personally, I think it's a lot less than half, but all right, so honey half note. It's a sourish, a little bit sourish, almost like maybe more towards like a pickled pepper. Is kind of what the pickled cherry peppers is kind of a little reminiscent of that. What's interesting is that I actually had that same effect from the Holy Hell wing sauce from Blonde Beard, but there will be a video up of that as well. Probably will be posted by the time you see this. And you can check that out in the Wings playlist. But I love pickled cherry peppers. I love, I'm a pepper fan, but I've always had a special place for those. So this one definitely, it reminds me more of that, I think, than anything else. The cinnamon notes are pretty absent. Honey wasn't strong to begin with in this one. It is not very strong in this one either. This one is just, that's kind of like what it reminds me of, I think, a little bit, is more of a sort of a pickled pepper sort of sauce rather than distinctly Scotch Bonnet. But let's get this on some food. We have here, this is a Hawaiian style pizza. So your Canadian bacon or ham, whatever your preference to call it is. I think this is actually Canadian bacon. And pineapple, and of course the marinara and the cheese. This one, I actually got this pizza, because if you look at the, I did a couple sauces from Hellfire's, the Ritual and the Ritual Habitual. If you look at those, I tried them on pepperoni and I didn't really like it. I thought they might work better with a ham and pineapple sort of thing, because they're a touch more tropical. So that's why I got this, to try that out. That's why I've only got half of it here. I'm not going to hork a whole pizza in front of you guys. But suffice it to say, the conclusions in that video were the same both before and after I tried it on this pizza, which I did prior to this. So you can check that video out as well. It is available in the hot sauce playlist, or it might be easier to just follow the link in the description below to the written review for this sauce, and then go from there to the table of contents on the blog, and you can go directly to that other review. And of course, the video is linked in the review as well. All right, so let's we're gonna gussy these up. So we're gonna go with 2 of these with our honey bonnet right here, and I like both sauces about equally. And then we're going to go with 2 of these here on our the honey half note here on our other pieces. They're very, very different sauces though in tone. Like if you blindfolded me and put this side by side, I wouldn't tell you that this is a toned down version of this. The connection is not clear to me like that with these sauces. I think they're both very good in their own right. Don't get me wrong. But to me, the interrelation is not readily apparent, I guess I'm going to say. All right, so this one's been staring me at. It's been eyeing me here a little bit. So we're going to start with the honey half note this time. The other reason I chose this is because, as I mentioned, I wish the honey was more prominent. And I wish there would have been salt. So here we have sweetness of pineapple plus the saltiness of the ham, just to see how my theory bears out. And it is bearing out very deliciously with this one. I didn't know Smoking Ed was a drummer. That was pretty cool to find that out. Maybe he still is. You know, for some people, it's kind of once a musician, always a musician. And then a lot of other people I know fall out of it and they forget what's the business end of a clarinet. It's really kind of weird. I don't know where Smoking Ed falls in that. Maybe he's still playing. I hope he's still playing. There's a lot of joy to be had from music. You know, a lot of times there's not always a lot of joy to be had from life itself. But music and the arts, you know, that's really those are kind of the desserts. Those are a lot of things. They're refuges, and I think that's really the best that the our species can aspire to, is the arts in general. So I'm happy to support them. I've also tried this on pepperoni. I think this honey bonnet I like better on pepperoni. On this pizza, I actually like this one better. On a lot of the other stuff I've had, my preference has been more towards the honey bonnet. Here, I think I'm giving the nod to the honey half note. This is definitely notably hotter, though. I kind of feel like this is living right in the dividing line, or whether something is just for chili heads or not. All right. Well, let's have the other one of these. See if I can get a little build going. I mean, for me, I would say moderate. That's so wild. Well, that makes sense, I guess. Changing the type of pizza should change how sauce interacts with it. No. Here, I think it's working against this because the cinnamon is also a little bit more prominent in the mix with this sauce. I'm not a huge cinnamon fan. In fact, I never use it myself. I hate the cinnamon candies. So for me, if you pulled out the cinnamon, put in a little bit of salt, and then stepped on the honey a little bit more, this would be a contender for sauce of the year for me. This one I think you'd have to change. You basically have a new sauce. I like this one for what it is better, I think, than I like this one for what it is. This one, just a few subtle touches, and this would be, though, a ringer. I mean, I like it as it is, but it's kind of one of the sauces where I eat it and I get stuck a little bit on what isn't there that I wish was. This is definitely punchier though. But, you know, this is one of those dual reviews where I don't favor one heavily when I'm using them. Unlike those Hellfires, I actually gave up on the Ritual Habitual, the Chipotle flavored one. It just, I got close, but I was kind of forcing myself to eat it, and I try to keep the philosophy that life's too short for bad sauces, so. Not to say it was bad, but just the struggle became too much. Man, this is good. This is excellent on this style of pizza. This is maybe the best setting I've had it in, actually. Like with chicken strips, I find it just a bit overly astringent. Slightly too sour. You know, that might be the marketing here that you should go with, actually. You know, kind of the sour candy vibe. Sour Patch sort of a thing. It might just be appealing to kids, though. You could do worse, though, than to have this as a kid's hot sauce. You know, to kind of bring your child into the chili head fold. Everybody needs a starting point. This would not be a bad one. It's very tame, but it is a bit sour depending on how you use it. There is a little bit of an underlying sweetness to it on top of things, though. So, I think you'd be a little hard pressed to use it in stuff like, you know, mac and cheese, but both these are really worthy efforts. These are, I think, the first two sauces I've had from Puckerbutt itself, and you know, it was kind of like the Big Fats hot sauce I had. You checked the playlist for that. It's something I meant to get to for a really long time, and just kept putting off and kept putting it off. And I looked at the sauces more than once, and none of them, I guess, really jumped out at me. You know, and of course, prior to having anything with Reapers, you know, it seemed that, I guess, a lot of Smokin' Ed stuff was really trying to push the heat boundaries, and that wasn't necessarily always what I was trying to look for. You know, and now, you know, now that I've, for lack of a better word, come to terms more with the Reapers, now I'm trying to open it up and get to some of the stuff that I meant to do for a really long time and just didn't. You know, I mean, there's no good excuse. You know, Smokin' Ed Curry's name is a massive one in this little chili head sphere of ours, and I was lacking. There's no other way to say it. I should have got to it sooner. I mean, I have had some of the at least one of the sauces he did for, well, actually more than that. I've had more than one of the sauces he did for the hot ones, for Heatonist. So it's about time that Puckerbutt itself got its rightful due. So I've got a few more of these, including sauces that were on the show, coming in the pipeline. So stay tuned for those. And I think I can't remember if I got more of his regular sauces or not. I guess stay tuned, we'll find out together. Be a surprise. But for now, two very different but very delicious sauces. I would recommend either one of them, although if you're looking for heat, this is probably not the better choice because it is extremely tame. But this one's very nice with a couple modifications. Like I said, I think it'd be a pretty easy sauce of the year, but as it is, it's still very, very enjoyable. And we'll just leave it at that. So there we go. The Puckerbutt, honey bonnet, and honey half note hot sauces.
Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.